How's it going, everybody? This is Qinn, and we were talking about talents and skills the other day. Well, this is a skill that I would very much like to develop, speaking off the cuff by myself, because for some reason doing this live is easier than doing this alone. Seems to be some sort of switch in the mind or something, but regardless. Anyway, yesterday when I was pretty much done making a static video, I ran across this article and I decided, well, you've been wanting to develop that skill for a while now, you might as well start here. So here we are. It says Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order initially made Disney nervous. Like, why? Well, let's go ahead and read this together and see if we can figure this out. Disney is notoriously very protective of its intellectual property. Notorious is the correct word to use in this situation. And thus, it should come as no surprise that when Respawn Entertainment first pitched it in LucasArts on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order for PS4, Xbox One, PC, the mega media company was a bit hesitant at first. According to Respawn Entertainment CEO Vince Zampella, it was the developer who first pitched to Disney, not the other way around. This sentence is weird, because I did give this a once over, and this sentence stuck out to me because why wouldn't it be the developers pitching to Disney? I mean, sure, in the LucasArts era, it was developers that would come to LucasArts and pitch an idea and they greenlight it or not. And so, are they saying here that Disney is in the business of telling developers what to create? That'd be kind of weird. If they're like, alright, this is the game we want, and you guys are gonna make it. Although, now that I say it out loud, it doesn't really sound all that far-fetched. Some people think that that's something that EA does. Like, they think that EA went like, alright, we got the Star Wars license, alright, DICE, Battlefront, get on it. Or that they're like, alright, Destiny is out there making money, BioWare, make Anthem. Although, now we kind of have more of a story on that, so that might not have been the case. Or there was probably some sort of element of him. But still, they weren't even allowed to even say the name Destiny, so who knows. The story group is really great to work with, said. Oh wait, I skipped a part. Yeah, more specifically, it pitched to Disney and LucasArts story group. The story group is really great to work with, said Zampella while speaking to Game Informer. They also have a lot of opinions. It lined up pretty well. At first, they were a little cautious about doing a Jedi story because, you know, that's so precious. Yeah, and doing Jedi very much like, you know, like they say in universe where it only takes one Jedi to change the fate of the entire galaxy. Well, out the universe it only takes one Jedi to change the course of an entire canon. So yeah, I imagine why they'd want to be careful about making new Jedi. And also, I've been wondering, like, exactly how many Jedi survived Order 66. There seemed to be a pretty good handful of them. Anyway, Zampella continued. We were able to pitch. Oh, hold on. God damn. Yeah, we were able to pitch to them on that. Stig Asmussen, the game's creative director, did a really great job at just putting something together that really resonated with them. And ultimately, the game is called Jedi. Yeah, Star Wars Jedi, Fallen Order. So I think we succeeded and did a good job. Okay, well, we'll see about that. Elsewhere in the interview, Zampella reveals the project is a dream come true for him, as he's been a massive fan of the sci-fi franchise since a child. You know who else has been a massive fan of the franchise since they were a child? Amy Hennig. Yeah, we all remember what happened to her. Oh, let's put it over there in the pile with the rest, along with that Star Wars 1313 and the Darth Maul game. Put it over there with the rest. Anyway, where was I? Further, he said it's great the team is finally leaving behind its first-person roots and making a third-person action game, something Zampella really wanted to do to broaden the studio's capabilities and what it's known for. Yeah, I can get behind that. Sure, yeah, do something new. We've always wanted to. We don't have to keep making the same genre over and over again. And hell, you never know. They might be good at it. Yeah, I'm not against that. According to the CEO, although, you know, people do get nervous, especially when like BioWare started making Anthem. People were like, BioWare usually makes RPGs. Make me nervous, which is understandable. Either way, I'm not totally against developers branching out into new ideas. According to the CEO, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order was also envisioned as a third-person action game, never a first-person title. First-person lightsaber combat. That's not unheard of, I don't think. Still, I think it still works better when you got an action game like that or Arkham Asylum or something. Yeah, it works better in third person, of course. Unless some really creative dude comes along and shows us otherwise. Anyway, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will be available, blah 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 blah. When along $560 at the moment. Publishing, there is no word of any additional ports. Like to the Switch or something? Yeah, no. That could happen. I mean, the Switch, they got The Witcher and Doom to run on the Switch, so I don't know what kind of sorcery they have to pull, but it's possible. For more news, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, that's enough of that. So yeah, as we've learned here, Disney is, it's pretty indicative of Disney. Like we heard earlier, where they're like, no dismemberment. Even though there's dismemberment all over the place, and in the movies, and even some of the cartoons, I think. I mean, for goodness sakes, when they reintroduced Darth Maul, he has spider legs. But, yeah, I didn't really see any dismemberment. Was there any dismemberments in Clone Wars? I don't remember any dismemberments in either the... No, wait. I think maybe in the Clone Wars there was some dismemberment. Not immediately on screen, but I do remember an episode where somebody lost something. Anyway. And the Clone Wars I can't quite remember. But anyway, moving on. I found another article just now. It says here, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is more a Metroid game than Uncharted clone, reports claim. I did hear people throwing around, not people, I think I saw like articles or something, throwing around the word Metroidvania. I gonna assume people listening to this know what that means. Games in the playstyle of Castlevania and Metroid, like Super Metroid and such. And I'm all for that. Super Metroid is, I think, the best Super Nintendo game ever. I never got to play any Castlevania though. But yeah, let's read this. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order gameplay has finally been shown earlier this month during EA Play, but it seems like what we've been shown is hardly a true representation of the game, as it's apparently going to be much bigger than expected. Then man, maybe that's really all they had to show? But maybe it would have been better if they didn't show it at all? I don't know. But yeah, if they did have other things to show, like for example, someone sent me a different video that was apparently hidden on their account, but somebody found it somehow. It was unlisted, and the gameplay, the fighting looked a lot better in that than what was shown during the presentation. So I'm like, why didn't they do more of this? So it's weird, if they have hidden footage of Metroidvania mechanics in the game, then why didn't they show that? They should have showed more of that. Maybe there were time constraints because, Metro is a lot of backtracking and such, finding this, finding that. But I don't know, they really should try to put their best foot forward at E3. But I don't know, maybe they couldn't, but if they could, then they should have. In the recent Giant Breastcast episode 2012, Giant Beastcast. Yes, that says a lot about my state of mind. It's been confirmed that Fallen Order is not exactly an Uncharted clone as hinted by the footage shown this month. The game is more similar to Metroid in progression, with players commanding a ship with a full crew and with the ability to explore planets in any order they wish. See, now that sounds pretty interesting. That's harkening back to Knights of the Old Republic, really. Although the full crew, obviously, there's no party members, so they're just kind of, there. I don't know if you can interact with them or anything. I don't know if there's gonna be a old ex-Jedi, ex-Sith who tells you compelling things, after every mission, but hey, we'll wait and see. Chris Avalon was on the writing staff, he did do some work, so who knows. But yeah, the players command give full ability to explore planets any order they wish. So how do the cutscenes work then? I mean, there is a way. This isn't completely new. But I expect since they dropped Metroid, you're gonna be visiting each planet multiple times. When you can. Which I'm all for that. I don't know if that alone will increase replayability. I don't know if the story changes if you go to this planet first or that planet first. I hope so, but that makes it a lot bigger than I thought it would be. New abilities also allow players to explore previously unreachable areas. Yeah, see, very much like Metroid. And that doesn't really increase replayability. But it could in some way, but that alone, no. I mean, I'm over here talking a lot about replayability, which is something I like, but it's not 100%, necessary. Still, it'd be nice. This report has also been confirmed by Kotaku's Jason Schreier, who also heard similar things about the game. Someone from Respawn told me about some of this stuff last week, and I was baffled. The demo looked fun, but I had no idea why EA would show linear, Nathan Drake-ish action-adventure footage when it sounds like this game is so much more than that. Right, now people walked away with the idea of, this is, just very linear, go from point A to point B, fight things along the way, finish the mission. That's what I thought it was. But it wasn't. Then this is sounding like something. Like we really got something here. The footage from EA Play 2019 showed how Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is a solid game nonetheless, with combat being the highlight. The Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order may not be the most original game around, as traversal is highly inspired by Uncharted, but it's definitely shaping up as one of the best Star Wars games of recent memory. Recent memory. So you're saying ever since Disney bought the license and gave exclusivity to EA? Yeah, that's not exactly a high bar. Still, the game looks good, still, regardless, yes. And it's sounding much better now. Combat is definitely the highlight of the shown footage, so even if exploration and story will end up being not quite as good, there will still be some fun to be had, provided the difficulty is tuned the right way. And also something they could take from the Arkham series, because I like that very much, was the challenge missions and the ability to cater your these things, these missions, not even missions, but fighting galleries where you would just fight four, I think it was 4 waves of enemies, and you could add options that would make it more difficult or easier, and that would add to the score modifier. I got so good at Arkham City that I used to play with tougher enemies, which would make the enemies move faster, attack faster, and have more HP. And I disabled the counter marker. So I had to watch the enemy's movements to see when they were going to attack and then hit the counter button. I could do that. I don't know if I could do that anymore, but because I was playing that game a lot back then. But yeah, man, I remember reaching like over 500 hit combos once. And it was just like, I just got into that zone, you know. Not the zone I was, you know, when I was driving the car, like I was gonna run into a ditch, no, but a different zone, a zone of like basketball players get into when they can't miss. That zone. If I could bottle up that zone and sell it, if I could bottle up that feeling and sell it, oof, I'd be a rich man. But I can't. Star Wars Jedi Fallen is scheduled to launch on November 15th. Yeah, November 15th we'll know for sure what we have on our hands here. Was there something else I was gonna say? Oh yeah, someone left a comment talking about loot boxes that are gonna be in this game. And yeah, it's likely that, you know, they might monetize the game in a way where they would sell skins, I don't know, costumes or something for money. I don't know if I don't know if I would say that that's a good idea, especially since this is a single player game. EA should really can't afford any more bad PR. But still, even if they do it, or if they do it, then there certainly won't be any official mod support. But if modders feel like it, they're gonna mod the game anyway. So I mean, if they want, there's really no stopping them from just making their own versions of the, you know, paid for skins and giving it away for free. So I don't know. Anyway, that's about it for this video. Yeah, like I said in the beginning, I really want to practice doing this to make it easier for myself to put out, you know, more videos more consistently. But I'm just gonna leave it here, and I think it's customary to say something at the end of the video. I don't have any sign off or anything, but yeah, follow me on Twitter and like and subscribe if you like this video. And so yeah, when I find some more news on Jedi Fallen Order or something else I want to talk about, boom, I'll do this. Anyway, peace.